Just want to thank everybody for joining us. My name is Paige, and I am the CEO of PWSA USA. Many of you know I have a son, Jake, who's 12 now and living with Prader-Willi syndrome, as well as a second genetic disorder called neurofibromatosis, or NF1. And sometimes our journey can feel overwhelming. I remember as my husband and I started our journey, so many things seemed out of our control, and we just really wanted to do something to make a difference. Just like many of you that are parents, grandparents, siblings, and friends. And we turned to fundraising. And fundraising doesn't have to be scary. In fact, it can be empowering, it can be fun. So tonight, I am so proud of our team and our community as we roll out our new Hope United platform. Since starting my position here almost 2 years ago now, I have been working on a vision to bring a fundraising platform to PWSA USA. And that vision is finally a reality. And there are so many people to thank who have made this vision the reality that it is tonight. But I'd like to start with our very own PWSA USA team. There are several people that have worked tirelessly to make this happen. And I appreciate them. And you just don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but they have definitely been working very hard to make this platform available to the PWS community. And next, I would like to say a very special thank you to Melissa Pito. Melissa has generously given her time and talents to this project as well. She's a great example of a volunteer who just came forward and said, what can I do to help? And we said, hey, we're working on a new platform. We'd love your input. She actually helped us design the Hope United butterfly, which we all love so much, and has offered many insights and suggestions as we work through this, as we've worked through the project. So thank you, Melissa, so much for everything you've done and continue to do for the PWS community. Tonight, we're going to introduce you to our Director of Development, Melanie McDonald. And Melanie's going to walk you through some of our platform's features and functionalities. And then you'll hear from a couple of our amazing fundraisers on their why. Why did they choose fundraising? And we'll wrap up tonight with an opportunity for you to ask your questions. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Melanie McDonald. Melanie?
Thanks, Paige. Thanks so much. And thank you, everybody, for making time on a busy weeknight right after this holiday weekend to come and just spend a little bit of time with us. I want to introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Melanie. I'm a PWS mom and also am honored to serve our community in a fundraising capacity for PWSA USA. My daughter Josephine is 3.5 years old and living with PWS. So I'm coming at this, from the heart and feel very passionate about doing this work. Just like Paige described, when I received our daughter's diagnosis, I felt very helpless, and like so much of this journey was going to be out of our hands. And so having the opportunity to take back a little bit of control and do something positive and empowering helped me personally kind of get out of my, dark place of grief and worry and fear about all of the things that were going to be to come for our family. And so I got involved with fundraising pretty quickly. I've fundraised for all different PWS organizations. And I'm really excited to share some of what we have here. So before we do that, I just want to make sure, can everybody hear me fine? Yes, okay. Oh, I see some hands raised, great. So you'll see down at the bottom of your screen tonight, we don't have a chat live feature, but we do have Q&A. So as we're sharing tonight, if you think of questions that you have, please don't hesitate to post them in the chat. And if we don't get to them during our presentation, we'll have some time at the end to answer some of those questions as well. So some of you might be wondering, if you haven't fundraised before for PWSA or for anyone, what is it that we're raising funds for? So, from your moment of diagnosis all through the journey of PWS, PWSA USA is there for you. So if we were speaking live and I could see everyone's faces and hands, I would ask you, and I guess feel free to raise your hand, because that is a feature that you can use, the raise hand button. How many of you had a comforting phone call with a representative from PWSA USA from the NICU or shortly after your discharge and return home? I see some hands there. How many of you have had the pleasure of being matched with a parent mentor who has been an incredible resource to you throughout your journey? Lots of hands. Great. It's so good to see those hands. And how many of you have been in the position of trying to transition your child to school and have needed to reach out to family support for help with your IEP or for advocacy to make sure that your child has what they need? Excellent. How many of you have found yourself in the emergency room somewhere outside your normal physician's office, needing a peer-to-peer consult or needing to speak with Lynn Garrick, who is our on-staff nurse, who is also a PWS mom, several of you. So whether it's something early on in your journey or something later on, help with behavior, referrals to PWS specialists, maybe you've attended our convention or you have received a scholarship to attend convention. There's all different ways that PWSA USA touches people's lives. And we're here for it all. And we don't charge for any of these services. We don't have a membership program anymore. We feel that anyone who is connected to the PWS community is a member of our community. And so in order to sustain all of those offerings and to do even more for our community, we need to raise the funds to make that happen. Some of the things that we have going on this year that you have seen and maybe heard about that are new and different. Paige has worked very hard with our family support team with Dorothea Lance and Stacy Ward and Christy Rickenbach to put together the volunteer summit that took place. We had a group of approximately 30 volunteers from all over the country that did some leadership training and got to connect with one another. We've had lots going on as we prepare for our DC fly-in, where we'll be doing some face-to-face advocacy with elected officials, making sure that we can represent the needs of the PWS community. And then, we have some other projects that are sort of in the hopper, as it were, a NICU education project to make sure that neonatologists and other physicians and nurses who interact with PWS families during their time of diagnosis can have the training that they need to do the diagnosing and the communicating with sensitivity and coming from a place of knowledge and certainty and support. And that's something we're very, very passionate about. So with your support as fundraisers, donors, friends of the organization, we can only make more possible together. And that's what Hope United is about. So I'd like to talk a little bit about what the platform looks like and what's possible on the platform. And then after tonight, if you're interested in getting involved, we'll provide you with some information and ways that you can get involved. So I'm going to share screen here. I don't know, Stacy, if I need to be highlighted, spotlighted, or whatever it is. So this is our Hope United platform. Hope United, again, we haven't changed our organizational branding at all. This is sort of just another brand, another facet of our work with the community. And Melissa helped us quite a bit with this beautiful butterfly with the double helix, the butterfly representing hope, the double helix kind of being the beauty of the science that's connected to all the things we're trying to do for our kids, for our families. So when you get to this landing page, there's a lot of different things you can interact with. I'm going to scroll down so you can see it, and then I'm going to take you to some of the places inside the platform. Again, this is really designed to be a tool that you can use with a little bit of support from us if needed throughout your process. And you can help us to reach the donors that we can't reach by ourselves. We can't reach your colleagues and your neighbors and your friends and family. We don't have all their addresses, all their phone numbers. And to be honest, they don't know us. They know you, they know your child or your sibling or your grandchild. And that's their connection to PWS. That's what's meaningful to them. So that's where we want you to connect with them and help us bring the resources to do more for our families. So if I scroll down here, you'll see that there's going to be this bar that's going to tell us where we are relative to our goal. Now, though this platform has just launched, this dollar amount here is going to represent all of the funds raised by fundraising volunteers, all of the peer-to-peer funds that have been raised so far. So though we are only not quite halfway into our year and we've just launched this platform this week, we've already raised $53,510 of our $250,000 goal. And that's $250,000 we'd like to reach before the end of this calendar year. We know that that's ambitious, but we also know that there's a lot of volunteers that are just itching to get started, and we're not gonna, we're gonna aim high. We wanna be, we wanna be optimistic and passionate that we're gonna succeed in reaching our goal. So here, when you get to this page, you can decide for yourself, or explore for yourself is probably a better description, how you want to fundraise. Do you want to host a walk, race, or run? And I mean, that could be inclusive of a bike, stroll, roll, strollers. If so, you can click here and it will automatically take you to a page where you can fill out a form expressing your interest and telling us what your vision is. This will help us to create a custom fundraising page just for you. So let's say you want to have a walk and you also at your walk want to have a basket raffle, and you also want to sell something that the community has donated to you, an in-kind donation. Well, we can make buttons and knobs and dials and clicks for all of those things so that you can have it set up just the way that you need it to be set up. And you can fundraise individually for yourself and have people register for your walk and pay a fee to participate, or you can fundraise in teams. You know, maybe your family lives near another PWS family and you want to have 3 or 4 families fundraise together under the umbrella of your one big event in your community. So that can all be done through this page. And if you fill out this form, you know, within 24 to 48 hours, somebody will get back to you and talk with you about the next steps for building your custom event. So if you scroll down again, the next button here is special occasions. We actually already have a special occasion event set up that I can show you, but this could be anything, anything from celebrating your birthday or an anniversary, you know, honoring a loved one's memory or celebrating the accomplishment of a loved one. We've even had families reach out to us, couples who are getting married and, you know, they're advanced in their careers and they don't need gifts from their friends and family. So they want people to donate to PWSA instead. That's a page that you can set up pretty quickly and easily by yourself. It allows you to upload a picture and tell your story. So we're going to go here really quick so you can see what that looks like. So here, our very own Stacy Ward, who just had a birthday, has gone ahead and set up a fundraising page. She's uploaded a picture here. She's talking about her story, how she's connected to the PWS community and why she wants to fundraise for PWSA USA. So Stacy hasn't had a chance yet to launch the page formally and send it to all her family and friends, but she'll be able to go into her participant center, which is something that she sees when she logs into her page. And she can actually send emails straight from here with, you know, suggested language typed in. She can scroll down to share it on Facebook or Twitter or any other platform. And as she goes about her business here, she'll have little badges that tell her, you know, congratulations, you're ready to launch. Everything is all set and ready to go. And things that will coach her along the way and make it successful. If Stacy encounters any difficulties with her fundraising, not only will she have me to call, right? But she'll be able to log in here to tips and tricks. And under tips and tricks, there's all kinds of suggestions, recommendations about things that you can do to be successful. Ways to use social media, ways to follow up and get creative with your fundraiser. And a reminder at the bottom, you know, as always, if you're feeling stuck or intimidated or need support, we're only a phone call or email, or in some cases with many of you, a Facebook message away, ready to help you, you know, wanting to see you be successful. Let's say you don't know what kind of event you want to have. You've never hosted a fundraiser, or you have a vision for something very unique and very specific. Maybe it's got something to do with where you're located geographically, or maybe it's got something to do with a special interest that your loved one with PWS has. Well, you can go over here to the inspiration tab. And here you'll see different videos. I think each of them are less than 2 minutes, talking about 4 different ways that people have fundraised for us recently. So there's a wonderful video about Gill, who is with us this evening. You'll get a chance to hear from him, talking about running the Boston Marathon for his brother Gavin, who's turning 16. Answers for Audrey. This is Michelle Spring, who's from Missouri, and her daughter Audrey, I think, is 16 months old now. But it was before her first birthday. She hosted a trivia night. It was sold out immediately. She raised $16,000. She's never hosted a fundraiser before. Hunter Lenz Golf Tournament is in its 13th year. John Lenz lives in Massachusetts, and his son Hunter, I think, is turning 24 next month. And this will be their 13th year hosting a golf tournament in Massachusetts together. Katie Martinez is here with us this evening. Katie lives in Louisiana, and she hosted a Wear Jeans for Rare Jeans event at the school where she works. Basically, you advertise in advance, and everybody has a dress down day and wears jeans. And in exchange for the privilege of wearing jeans for the day, everybody makes a donation. And all those funds get collected and sent to PWSA USA. So these are just 4 examples, but really bowl-a-thon, yoga-thon, dance contest, barbecue. I mean, I've had people call with all kinds of wild and fabulous ideas. And I guess the bottom line is, like, there's no idea that's too crazy. We're here to help you make it happen and have it be meaningful and successful for you and your family, and then in turn, you know, raise funds for us. So I'll go back to the other one here. As I said, the last option is the do-it-yourself option, like something that's out of the box that there wouldn't be any kind of cookie cutter template for, something that you want to do that's unique and different. Cornhole tournament. I've heard everything. There's nothing I haven't heard. I'm excited to hear what your ideas are. But this is our way of saying, you know, we're here for you, and we can tweak and make a custom page to suit your needs and help you be successful in whatever ways you're trying to be successful for us and for you. In addition to the inspiration section and the tips and tricks, I also want to point out some other helpful resources. So on the About page, we have this, like I said, this amazing video that really shines a light on sort of PWSA fundraising superstars, some people who've done some great things recently for us. And, you know, if you're trying to get someone to do it with you, like I had a conversation today with somebody in North Carolina, and there's 2 families that want to maybe plan an event together. This is a great way to compel somebody to support your event or to get involved, is to watch and share this video. Also, let's say you're having a fundraiser and you forgot what the link to your page is, because, you know, we can make a custom link, you know, that's what, hopeunited.pwsausa.org/ Katie's golf event. You can actually go to donate and donate to an individual, donate to a team, or just, hey, I like PWSA USA, I want to make a general donation. We also have this FAQ. We're going to add to this as people have more questions that come up, but these are the types of questions that we get all the time, and things that we wanted to equip you with as fundraising volunteers to help you, again, to be successful. So, you know, how do I get a shirt? How do I get the word out? How do I set up my page? What if somebody hands me a check at my in-person event? How do I get that to you? So there's all kinds of tools and resources and answers to save you time in there. And lastly, before I turn it over to our volunteers, I want to show you our toolkit. And again, this is an area that's going to be evolving over time. You may see some friendly, familiar faces up here. Here are little drop-down menus. So, you know, if you want to design your own poster, say, and you want to use our logo and you want to use the Hope United logo, I don't know why. Oh, there it is. You can drop down and there's all the logos your heart could ever desire. Let's say you're hosting a walk and you're doing it at a high school track or in your cul-de-sac in your neighborhood, and you want to decorate the walk path with signs. We have all of these great signs and can have more made that take some of the facts that we use for PWS Awareness Month, and you can take these to your local Staples. And you can have lawn signs made, those little signs that you can just stick right in the ground. You know, that can help remind people why are we doing this together, and thank them and welcome them. Oh, clicked on one of those. In addition to that, there are, oops, sorry, trigger finger. There are banners. You know, if you're having a big walk, you can have a big banner that welcomes people and thanks them. We even made these posters here because, you know, you're so busy and you're doing so much for us. We want to make it as easy as possible. You can click on these, download them, and type in the name of your event, upload a picture of your child, your sibling, your grandchild, and type in all the details here. See, it even says event details go here. And then lastly, on the toolkit, there is a reimbursement form. You know, we'll actually reimburse you up to 10% of your event expenses. So if you save your receipts and if you would like to be reimbursed, you know, we realize this is a big undertaking for families. So if you complete this paperwork, we can either send you a check to reimburse you some of your expenses, or you can have the option to receive an in-kind donation receipt and to donate those expenses back to us. And take a tax deduction for that. So there's a lot to this platform. I couldn't even begin to show it all to you now, but I would emphasize that when you're ready, even if you don't know when you want your event to be or what you want it to be or what you want it to look like, just get started. Click here, fill out the form, contact us. We'll make a mutually convenient time. We'll have a phone call or a Zoom chat, and I'll walk you through it and listen to your ideas. Or if you want to get started tonight, you have a birthday, an anniversary, a graduation, something coming up, you can click get started here. And I would say 5 to 7 minutes, you could have yourself a really great page that you could start using right away. I know that was a lot and I went through it all really, really fast. But I want to make sure we've got plenty of time. So I am going to shut off my camera in a minute. I'm going to introduce Katie Martinez, who's going to speak first. Katie is a PWS mom from Louisiana. She's going to talk about her experience, and then she is going to turn it over to Joe Gill, who is a PWS big brother sibling from Massachusetts, who's also had some fundraising success. And then I'll pop back on for the Q&A. So thanks everybody for your time and attention. Katie, are you able to pop on with your video? There you go. Thank you.
Uh-oh, Katie, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's
Yes.
great. Thank you.
Good now? Okay. My name is Katie Martinez, and I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I have my 5-year-old, Samuel, or Sam. He just turned 5, and he's amazing. So what I did for our fundraiser is I did a Wear Jeans for Rare Jeans day at my school. So the first year that I did it last year, Sam was at a different school than I was. So I contacted his teacher first, and I spoke with her about if she even thought that the school would be interested in doing something like that. And from there, she was able to talk to the principal, talk to the secretary, and get it all rolling that way. So that part was super easy. I felt motivated to do it because in most of the schools around where we live, we all wear uniforms. And a way that I have seen other people do it for things like, breast cancer awareness, or different types of diseases or cancers, things like that, we've had dress down days for. So I thought, why not PWS? And it was very easy for me to reach out to the school because I had already built that relationship with his teacher that I felt comfortable asking her about doing that. And everybody was really willing to work with me. So I wanted to do something for a while, but fundraising can be really intimidating. And so this was a pretty hands-off way for me to be able to make a difference without getting overwhelmed, because I can get overwhelmed easily about things like that. And I just had to reach out, and everything else kind of fell into place from there. And it was a way I think, for people to realize that, for people to help without them feeling like, oh, I have another thing to donate to. Parents pretty much just had to listen to their kid, ask them, can I please have a dress down day? And then ours was just set for $1. You could donate more, if they were able to, but just the low base for $1 seems like it's not going to make that big of a difference, but it really does. And things add up, and it helped me a lot, and it helped my confidence in building. And since that was a success, I am now at a new school this year, and Sam goes to school with me. And I was able to talk to my principal, and all of the teachers that I worked with and his teacher were all super willing to work with me. And they even surprised me with a few of my classes, all in second grade that I was in. They all got their kids to dress down, and it was a really emotional day just to see how many people were so willing to support us and even go the extra mile to show how much they cared about him. And whenever I was able to reach out to my principal personally, but there's also a flyer that, or a downloadable letter on the site that you can change to send out to a principal or an administrator at your child's school or workplace. It doesn't necessarily have to be just at a school. You can do it at your workplace as well. And I spoke personally with the secretary at my school, and she confirmed with me too, how easy it is to set up for the kids. She just sets up a cash online link that she can easily send out to the parents, and it's pretty much out of her hands too. They just get collected by whatever deadline you have, and then they can, once it's closed, they can just send out a check to PWSA. And I feel like if I could offer any advice to someone wanting to get started, but you don't know where, because I am so supportive, obviously, of the people who are able to raise so many, like thousands of dollars. And obviously I want to get there one day, but to just get my feet wet and to get that confidence I was able to get from one of these smaller fundraisers, it really helped me a lot to feel like I can make a difference. Even though, yeah, maybe thousands of dollars aren't coming in at once, I was able to see some things come in and know that they were doing it to support my baby. So it really helped me a lot. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Katie, for taking time to join us. And I know you're going to hang around for Q&A later. We're in the process of getting all those Rare Genes for Rare Genes resources added to the toolkit. Right now they're on the regular website, but just to reiterate, it could take anywhere from like 5 to 7 minutes really to customize the letter and send it to your employer. I've seen people do it in the workplace, in the school, church groups have done this fundraiser before. So in a very short amount of time, you can make a big difference and have a really meaningful fundraising experience. So I'm grateful to Katie for helping to inspire so many other people. And I also want to introduce Joe Gill. Again, Joe is a big brother who did some really great fundraising also recently. He's going to talk a little bit about that as well for us. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Melanie. Yeah, so my name's Joe. I live in Hanover, Mass. And I got connected with PWS because my younger brother Gavin was diagnosed shortly after his birth, so 16 years ago now. And for a while, I've always kind of wanted to do some big fundraiser after, like my dad ran the marathon for him back in 2009. And then as a family, we've been trying to plan things out every 5 years or so to try to just raise awareness and to really put Prader-Willi from the back seat back to the front, where people don't really know about it too much. So as I was fundraising, so again, from Boston, so ran the Boston Marathon this past spring. But as I was fundraising, one of the big things I was trying to focus on was not only just raising money, we were very successful and did really well, but it was also just really to focus on the awareness aspect and to try to get people to spread the word as much as possible, even if it meant not raising enough or targeting groups that would donate more. Instead of we could have targeted whether it was more businesses or stuff like that and tried to raise more money, which we can do going forward. But what I tried to focus on was, given that I'm only 22, I was trying to focus through other social network platforms and stuff, people my age and a little younger that are currently in the school system, and like Gavin, so he has friends that have been great to him at school and all this stuff. But what we were trying to say is if we can put the message to them and get it in their heads that, okay, this is how this disorder works. This is how Gavin's thinking and Gavin's doing stuff. It makes people see this whole disorder differently, and then it can encourage them to donate more and do more. So that's kind of where we focused. And then of course, tried to raise as much money as possible. We initially set out to try to raise $16,000, so $1,000 for each year. And then people the outpour of support was incredible. So we ended up raising, or we hit that mark in 4 or 5 days. And then I talked with Melanie the next day and it was nuts. So we had to keep bumping the goal. So then we bumped it to 26.2. And then we hit that a couple weeks later. And then we just kept going, and people kept reaching out to me, asking all right, what's the tracker at? What's the tracker at? How are we doing on the page? And it became this whole community effort, which I think there's something to be said about that with fundraising in general. And something like this is that people want to help and they want you to succeed. They just don't know how. And it's oftentimes I speak for probably the group as a whole, but it's tough to you have this overarching goal of okay, you want to find a cure for this, or you want to ensure the best life and stuff possible, but it's where do you start? So we were sitting there and we were okay, well, just small steps, which is kind of what I was playing through in my head, okay, every step of the way, running the marathon, just doing that. but it's kind of like just a tribute to like people with Prader-Willi. Like every day presents their own challenge, and they kind of just tackle that as they go. So that like fundraising, like we just like went one step at a time and just kept like trying to reach out to different people and spread the word. So like I would talk to, whether I was going on trips or I was like meeting with people, like I always just kind of brought this up, and not to like try to like pump up or inflate my own numbers, like, oh wow, like I raised this money, but more so, like I said, to just spread the word about Prader-Willi and like get people to really see this as like, okay, yes, although this is a rare disease, 1 in 15 or 1 in 20,000 people is still going to be a lot of people when you look at the total population. So it's definitely an issue that like needs to be addressed. And even if it isn't like a lot of people, just that small amount, those people like do matter, and we have to focus on like prioritizing them. So that like all that stuff, like those thoughts, stuff that kind of popped in my head were kind of like the core focus on what I like, why I wanted to run. I'm like, okay, I want to do it now. I just graduated school. This is what I want to do. So then I was like, okay, this will finally kind of like propel things. So I was like, okay, but maybe now if I start doing this, like the bigger picture, I was like, okay, well, I did it now, so maybe like I can pass the torch to like one of my brothers to do it again or do something similar or whatever fundraiser in a couple of years. But then it's also like stretching further than just that. So it's like Prader-Willi, like PWSA USA does a great job with parents and getting like parents and siblings going, okay, they can get the parents to all the support, resources, whatever they need, and it's great. But the sibling aspect it's still kind of new because there just really hasn't been like too much of that perspective yet. So I was like, hopefully we can get the ball rolling there as well, because I know there's a bunch of siblings out there that want to come up with some idea, and I think are in similar shoes that I am. Like I only did one fundraiser, but like still and trying to figure out, okay, what's the next one? What can I do to help them, like help us hit those goals and like really hit our long-term goal? So all that stuff is kind of like, okay, the first step you have to do is just whatever plan you want, just get in there and like do what you want to do. So it's like if you're on the fence, just go all in and like go for it. It's super easy. They like, this was before this page launched, and Melanie and the whole team here were just incredible for me, like raising, like whether it was spreading the word about the page or helping me set up, like everything was just incredible. So like without them, I definitely couldn't have done what we did. And then after my company and like a couple other companies like match donations, we should have raised, I believe, between 40 and 41,000. So yes, on that note, I know I was speaking for a little bit, so I will pass this off to whoever else and answer any questions for whoever has them.
Thank you so much, Joe and Katie. I'm going to turn it over to Paige.
Thank you, Melanie. I just, I wanted to, again, just thank everybody for joining us tonight. Katie and Joe, thank you so much for sharing your stories. You're truly making a difference. So thank you for everything you're doing and encouraging, others to get started. As Melanie mentioned before, we continue to work, on your behalf, on behalf of all of our families, through our family support team, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our focus on advocacy and awareness, we are really focusing on that. You heard us talk a little bit about, the DC fly-in in September. We're doing Dorothea Lance, who is heading up our advocacy and awareness team. We're doing a lot this year, but we have a lot more planned. And also, just research. Research has been a part of something we've done for the past 40 years. So we want to continue to fund research to make lives better for all of our loved ones. So we look forward to you reaching out, asking questions, and just let us know how we can help. Because at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason. We want to do whatever we can to make a difference and to help, like I said, to help our loved ones. So thanks everybody. And I know we have a little bit of time left now for Q&A. If people have questions or thoughts or ideas, we'd love to hear from you.
I see a few questions in the chat have already been answered. but keep them coming. Who has an idea for a fundraiser that they've been thinking about but haven't taken any steps with, something that they want to share with the group to inspire us and get us all thinking? Is there anyone working on percolating an idea? Let's hear it.
I know who's on this call and people are not this quiet, so.
I know, right?
Speak up.
Right. So I had a great call. Thank you, Maggie. Maggie Andrews, who lives in New Mexico, she is in the process of speaking with me about organizing a big family fun run that's going to be partially in person and partially hybrid so that friends and family from across the country can participate. Thank you so much for sharing that. Melissa wants to do something with costumes. Oh, Joe Gill. Joe Gill and I have a great idea that is in development. Joe, do you want to pop on and share a little bit about that idea? Maybe Melissa would want to steal it.
Yeah,
Melissa's in Orlando, by the way.
Melissa, you definitely can steal it. There is no like trademark or copyright or anything on this. I think it would be cool if we could get it like this being a national organization. Like it would be cool. I know like other fundraisers have stuff, but like they do things on like one set day. So Melanie and I were talking the last time we caught up about how Halloween time can be like a very tough time for like Prader-Willi kids I mean, like low sugar diets, but also just the influx of candy and just the presence of food in general. So my parents both were talking about when we were like trying to brainstorm fundraisers, like, okay, can we do something like fun without food or whatever, just to get people like to still have fun and like separate food and like try to like be distracted and like not think about that for a while. And then Melanie and I were like kind of brainstorming ideas and we came up with this idea of some sort. We're still like working out the kinks, but essentially it's like dress silly for Prader-Willi. So it would be like you either like we could like sponsor teams or like Prader-Willi, like if like, oh, like for Gavin, for instance, like, oh, like we want Gavin to be in this dress silly for Prader-Willi, whether it's like a race or like an amazing race style or like obstacle course or whatever it may be, like, but we could do something like that or a walk or something, but it's like where the Prader-Willi kids and other kids can come up and like dress silly for Prader-Willi. So again, you have like the Rare Genes for Rare Genes Day and stuff like that, where you're putting a fun spin on it. So like the kids all will still want to get dressed up and still want to do it, but both the kids and the parents will also still learn more about it. And like, this is still like very early stages. So if anyone has like any comments or any other like ideas, feel free to throw them in there. We can definitely piggyback and make it, but I think it would be cool if, like I said, right around like Halloween time, I know it's like crazy for everyone else, but if we did it like on a national stage too, where it's even just little pockets of like, okay, there's some up in Mass, there's some up in Florida, there's some out west, like mid-country, whatever it is, keep doing that. Then it's like the web keeps spreading like all across and we can kind of spread the word a little more. But like I said, there is nothing definite here. If anyone else wants to throw any ideas in, feel free.
Yeah, the dress silly for Prader-Willi, we had this idea of like, instead of going trick-or-treating house to house, maybe we could do it in a small downtown area or a big park where we could have, 8 or 10 or 15 different little pop-up tents, and you go to one pop-up tent and you get a temporary tattoo, and you go to another pop-up tent and you play a game. But the idea being that you can throw yourself into Halloween with your family and have a great time without necessarily having to worry about food, and you can still participate in your own hometown festivities, but creating some kind of model program that different chapters or different groups in different states could modify and make it work for them.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
I'm
people
excited.
like the idea. Melissa's yes. And Carolyn is saying Sioux Falls, South Dakota is in. So,
A dress silly run. Yep.
I think the other cool part too about it is you're connecting the like national and local chapters together, where like you're now pairing people that geographically might like live close together that didn't know that before, but then you have like more like a Prader-Willi connection with families close to you, whatever it may be, that you might not have known about before. So I don't know, we can keep running with these ideas, but it's nice to see that maybe there's some travel.
I see there's more questions and ideas. Melissa's super excited about Dress Silly, and Carolyn Hunter from South Dakota. Joe, I was mentioning her to you. She's another sibling, a big sister to Andy, right? And Charles, your buddy Charles from the Volunteer Summit, he says, I'm looking at how I can start an annual 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Maybe you could do a March Madness or some such tournament in your hometown in Arkansas. That would be great. That would be so much fun. So there's really, I mean, the possibilities are endless. Yes, Andy celebrating his 30th birthday this summer. Excellent. So there's so many ways that we can do this, and it should be something that's like personally meaningful to you and your family, and something that you can grow every year, because if people support you once, they'll want to support you again, and the support will just grow exponentially. So it'll be great for your family, and great for us to have all the support of your friends and colleagues and community members. Oh, Paige would like to answer this question live. Oh,
no.
Hold on.
I don't know what happened there.
We're still getting used to all this. I'm a face-to-face person. It takes time for us to get used to all this technology. So in any event, if there are any other questions, we're happy to answer them about the platform. But again, if you want to get started tonight and make a birthday fundraiser or an individual fundraiser, it's pretty straightforward, and you can upload your picture and your story like Stacy has. And if you have something else in mind and you want to speak with us about it, you can email us at hopeunited@pwsausa.org. We'll put up that slide in a minute that has that information, or you can go to the platform, which is hopeunited.pwsausa.org, and you can click on the contact us form, and it will automatically send our team a message that you're interested. And within 1 to 2 business days, you'll hear from us, and we'll make a time to get together and talk about your vision. So we're going to leave that slide up in case anybody wants to take that down. And again, thank you so much for taking part of your evening and spending it with us. We have designed this platform with busy families in mind. It really should only take you, 5 to 7 minutes to create a page, or if you're looking to design a custom page, we can meet in a half an hour and, get all the information that we need to get you started. So we're looking to keep it uncomplicated for you, and to help you feel positive and empowered about this part of your PWS journey, where you can affect change and make some great things happen. I see some more questions. Should we use this instead of Facebook birthday fundraisers? That's a really great question. So when you do a fundraiser on Facebook, we don't get any information about the individuals who donate to you other than whatever their name is on Facebook. So if we want to thank them or continue to steward them and educate them about PWS, it's really hard for us. We love Facebook fundraisers, and certainly they're very easy to do, but you can actually create your page here, and it will be integrated with Facebook. So you can share automatically to Facebook with the click of a button, and you can promote it through Facebook. So it would, I think, be our preference as an organization to be able to, send thank you notes and engage with the people who you are bringing to us as supporters. So, we would never say no to somebody who wants to only make a Facebook fundraiser, but I think it would be our preference that you use this platform, because it will help us better steward all of the people that are looking to support you. Charles, will the page post the events next to their fundraising amounts? So every event page, when you create your event, whether it's an individual special occasion event or your basketball event, when we set up the page for you, or when you set it up yourself, you'll be able to state a goal up front of what you're looking to raise, and you'll be able to see with every donation the progress that's made towards your goal. You'll also have the option to receive an email notification every time somebody makes a donation, so that you know who to follow up with and who to thank when you bump into them at work, and that sort of thing. And then in addition to that, I don't want to leave this slide, but in addition to that, at the bottom of the main fundraising page, there's a leaderboard. And it will show you not only your fundraising total, but where you are relative to, like, if you and Joe wanted to have a healthy competition to see who could raise more, you know, you could be able to see how he's doing. Also on your individual page, there's like a ticker on the right-hand side. And if somebody does not want to remain anonymous, let's say Paige makes a donation, Charles, to your page, her name will appear as a recent donor. So it's like a constant stream of thank yous to all of the people who are supporting you as you have your page. Will those Facebook fundraisers be added to this page? So when the Facebook is another great question, Charles. When the Facebook integration is complete and people make a donation to your page, to your Team Raiser Hope United page via Facebook, it will count towards your totals. Also, if somebody hands you a check or hands you cash, that would be added to your offline total as soon as those funds arrive to PWSA USA in Sarasota. We would enter those in as if they had come in, and that would be added as part of your fundraising total. These are great questions. I have a feeling my call with Charles to set up his fundraising page is going to be filled with fantastic questions. Are there any others before we wrap things up? Previous Facebook fundraisers? No. So any previous Facebook fundraisers that you've done, obviously we're very grateful for them, but they will not be wrapped up in this total, unfortunately. But they do count as peer fundraisers. So they'll be counted in our overall totals. Well, I think that brings us to 8:57. I think we've answered all the questions. I don't think we missed any. But here you see up here the phone number and the email, and then the website. You can take a screenshot of this if you'd like. We'll also be sending later this week a follow-up email to all of you with some information about how to get started. But please go on the site, play around, watch the videos, get inspired, and let us know how we can help you be successful with your fundraiser. Anything else? Oh, let's go, says Maggie.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Autobots,
Right,
roll
Maggie.
out. Let's go. Lots of thumbs up. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it and look forward to talking to you.